vlog day 2. So not the second day of December, but the second day that I put out a vlog. And I've been trying to set up, like I told you guys earlier, maybe we can chill here actually. It's not too bad, not too bad. Maybe here. I don't know, maybe we put you there. There. I'm still trying to see what kind of setup I can work with, especially with I lost my train of thought. Yeah, especially without a tripod. So I have my camera. It had taken a long time for it to get sorted, but it did get fixed and I have it back and I'm so excited to use it. But I find it very, I'm not so comfortable with the idea of using my camera without a tripod, because then it's not so stable, and fixing it did not cost 2 shillings. So I have to be very, very, very careful. Anyway, I'll come back to you guys in a little bit. I'm trying to find my setup and then we can sit and chat a little bit. Today we're doing something different and I'm looking forward to hearing back from you guys, because this is going to be something that I would want to have a conversation about. All right, see you soon. All right, I'm back and I brought the paper. Today's paper, I saw an article there that really caught my eye and had me thinking. So one of the things I do in this in my channel is to give a bit of social commentary. So basically give my take on things that, you know, society does, says, instructs and so on. And I found this article today that I found very interesting and has been kind of in line with a lot of conversations that people are having online, on podcasts and so on. So I thought I would share with you guys and just kind of give my take on it. And also I would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are, because I think we all kind of bring ideas or opinions from our perspective based on our experiences. And I mean, the variation of our experiences also determines how we look at things. You know, we might think completely oppositely. Is that a word? We might have completely opposing ideas. And I would love to hear yours, and hopefully it will be something that, you know, I can understand a different person's perspective. So let's go. Yeah, so let's get into it. So it's actually the first, I don't know if I should keep this part, it's usually quite irritating. So the article that I was gonna share with you guys is this one right here. Maybe you can, this one right here. Maybe I bring it closer. Anyway, I'll put a separate clip of it so you guys can access even just the title. So the article, the headline reads, "Father sues son, asks court for 20% of his salary for upkeep." Mr. Gideon Kisira Cherowo, my friend, let me read that again. So this Mr. Kisira or Mr. Cherowo, I don't know which one would be correct, a 73-year-old man, is basically taking his son to court and asking that 20% of the son's salary be kind of deducted for his upkeep. And part of the argument for him is that, first of all, context, this is one of his sons. He has, I think, 4 children, and among them, this is the only child who managed to be gainfully employed. So the rest of the kids are not really doing well, they're not making much money, and he is, you know, financially not in a good place. So he's probably been asking his son, you know, help us out here, we need some help here. And the son, I don't know what his side of the story is, because this one is really focused on the old man. And it just brings to mind ideas like, you know, black tax, especially black tax. I feel like I've heard it be discussed in many different contexts, but not conclusively or not exhaustively. I think it's such a conversation that has to be had over and over from so many different perspectives, so we can all understand where we're coming from, you know, and why these things happen and why society functions the way that it does. I'm sure there's so many complexities that I might not have in mind when I'm giving my take on this, including, you know, just how the socioeconomic vibe or thing works in our context, because black tax is especially, actually, I don't know why they call it black tax. maybe because majority of people from African countries, so say for example, Africans in diaspora, and then I'm pretty sure even in Asian and other people from other continents, like not in Africa rather, and not Black people, also sometimes have to pay this Black tax. So I've heard people talk about it, and I've heard it be justified in the sense that, it takes a village, to raise a child, and ideas like how we are all, the idea of Ubuntu, for example, where it's a brotherhood and we're all together in this and we all help each other out, and the person who's up lifts the ones who are down, and it's kind of like a merry-go-round, or it goes, well, that's hopefully how it should be. But I don't know, when I think about it, from the time I kind of got introduced to this idea, actually, I'm going to backtrack. I was going to start with something else, but I realized I was introduced to the idea of black tax a lot earlier than I had, I guess, very consciously noticed. So I remember when I was young, my father is the firstborn of 10 kids. They're not 10 anymore, but yeah, he was the first one of 10 kids. He rather still is. And he basically educated quite a few of his siblings. My dad was a very focused person, and he studied. And I remember one of his stories is, back in those days, our parents used to go to India for their further studies. So my dad went to India and basically decided that he was going for his undergrad, and he decided he's not going to leave until he's finished his master's. That's around the 1980s. So it was pretty ambitious to kind of be like, yeah, I'm going to do my undergrad and then do my master's. And of course, when he was starting out, his parents were, chipping in and helping him to get his education, but only to the point that they could. Sorry, I'm going to slow down a little bit because my thoughts are like just coming through. Okay. So to the extent that my dad's parents could, they chipped in on his undergrad salary, but I think at some point they were not really able to continue paying for his further studies. So he had to find ways, he had to hustle his way through and just figure out how to pay. He did manage, he graduated and started to work. Those days, they started to work right after high school or something. They would go and teach students in younger grades and so on. So anyway, my point here is our parents have done it. Our parents, like say people in their 60s and above, have been doing it. It's kind of been the norm. It's been an accepted way of life and a way that people do things. But I've always wondered I kind of felt like there was an expiry to that. For me, how I was raised, yes, I knew my extended family, but we were not that close. So basically, my immediate family, my neutral family, was my biggest concern, or the furthest I looked to as family, and then the rest were relatives, or rather that's how I see it. Maybe it's not a very African way of looking at things, I don't know, you tell me, but I've just always thought that it's first the neutral family. And also just like the way life is set up, it's very difficult to take care of everyone. People are many. I'm not complaining. I was coming to kind of give a commentary on this piece. So this man probably would ask his son for help and would ask his son, to give him a bit of money here and there. And maybe the son did, maybe he didn't do enough. Maybe the father would observe his lifestyle and so on and think, wait, my son is doing a lot better than, we're doing, and it needs to kind of match up. And I even remember when Kibaki was president, guys would complain about how he had a sister who lived in abject poverty. And yes, it's sad if you have the means, if you're able to kind of help the people that you love, the people who are close to you. If you have excess and you can actually help, I'm a big advocate for, yes, definitely share, be generous and so on. But it was such a shocking thing for me to see this article and realize that somebody's father felt that it was their right to take their son to court so that they can share a piece of their salary with him. And how he justifies this is, that because he, sacrificed so much, sold land, sold cows, even paid for this man's dowry, which is another topic that we will get to at some point soon. I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it, and then I don't think these conversations have to be a one-time thing. We can always go back and, talk to more people about these things. But he basically paid the dowry for his son, and he took him to school up to university level, which obviously was not an easy thing, considering that, they live in the rural areas. He probably wasn't very cash heavy. So I understand that, but I'm of the mind that when you choose to be a parent, and I believe it should be a choice for the most part, of course, there are circumstances in which it's not really chosen. When you're an adult, you're the one who decides, okay, I want to be a parent for the most part. Yes, I want to be a parent. I want to have children for the different reasons that you decide you want to have children. And for me, how I was raised was my parents were 100% responsible for me until I turned 18. My dad used to tell us, once you turn 18, if you're not going to university and you haven't figured out, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, if you don't know what's going on with you and you've become an adult, you're 18 years old, I'm not obligated to care for you anymore. That's now me choosing to care for you as much as I want, as I can. But I had the impression from the time I was really young that as soon as you become an adult, you're 100% responsible for yourself, especially if you're not, still studying. If you can go out there and get a job, it's now their time. They've closed that chapter, and it's your time to be an adult and care for yourself. So, and I think it's wonderful if your parents do the best they can to give you the best chance in life once you have, graduated or whatever. But when black tax, or as far as black tax is concerned, which I think this story is very much, related to black tax, there is a certain expectation by not just your family. I almost understand immediate family. I almost understand when it's your parents, especially like in circumstances like if they're unwell, if you are able to care for them, absolutely be involved, be a good person, like be a decent human being and do that. But for him to think that you need to get, like for him to even go to court and get a lawyer and go to court and ask the court to obligate you to give him a certain percentage of your salary when you're an adult living in this city. We all know what that's like, just living in a big city in most places. Life is not that easy, managing things is not that easy. So he doesn't know how much money his son, probably, I'm guessing, that he doesn't know how much money his son is making. He doesn't know how his son is spending the money. So, for example, if the son is making X amount of money and about 40% of it goes to, rent, another percentage of it goes to transport, another percentage of it goes to food, and maybe he's trying to save some money so he can also do some things for himself, maybe even possibly do things for his family in the future. I don't know. I don't think he is obligated as a child, even though he's not a child, he's 48 years old. I don't think he's obligated to care for his father. I think it's a wonderful thing for him to do, but it has to be something he chooses to do. Those are my thoughts. So I read this and I'm very curious to see how this story develops, because I don't know, sometimes they're saying it's going to be a precedent-setting case. So nobody has ever done this before, and even the court itself usually caters to children, Parents can be obligated to care for their children because they're the adult and the child is helpless and needs someone to take care of them until they're able to do that themselves. So I'm really curious, guys. What are your thoughts on this? Do you guys feel like you must care for your parents and for your relatives as long as you are making money? Do you feel like it's selfish for people to be obligated to your hard work and what you've earned? Is there a difference between them asking and you offering to help? Yeah, guys, let me know. I'm absolutely curious. These are thoughts that have been crossing my mind quite a few times, and I don't know, I've never felt from my parents a sense of them expecting me to do for them. But if I was able to do for them, I would want to do for them. If that makes any sense. But my point is it okay for parents to care for their children and then basically tell their kids that you owe me because I took care of you when you were young? You didn't really have a choice, did you? But do you guys think it's okay? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. So this is day 2 of Vlogmas. The next time you guys are going to see me is on Monday. In the meantime, cross fingers that I get some of the bits and bobs that I need to get my equipment set up. So yeah, until next time, guys, have a good week ahead.